Welcome to the Adapt Collective, where we talk all things health, wellness, and movement.
Whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah.
That's amazing.
We're back, episode
Yeah.
8. Episode 8. This is the Adapt Collective podcast.
Back with music, too, boy.
Back with music. I am one of your hosts, Jonas. I'm joined today by two people, one of them being the other co-host.
Mr. Peter Beitia.
Awesome to have you. Awesome to be back.
Yes, sir.
Episode
Yes.
8. We are joined.
Guys, fucking Gargadget was like,
Right, reaching over. We are joined today by someone who's going to be a little bit more of an expert on the topic. We're getting to sports psychology. However, we are joined by our fellow colleague, Mr. Peter Law. Hello. Introduce yourself. Hello.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Of course,
Yes.
man.
it's awesome.
It's a pretty sick setup you got here too.
Yeah, you've never been
studio
back
and all
here. You've never seen
No,
this
dude. Yeah, when I walked in with him, that was the first time I ever been in this room.
Really?
Yeah.
This gets a lot better airflow than the other spots. This is like the hidden gem of the complex.
You would have never known that this is back here.
No,
Like, it's just-
I had to ask Maine where it was. I was like, where the hell is the podcast room at? I was like, I have no idea where it is.
Is that by the treatment rooms? Well, don't give it away because then we don't want the whole gym back here knocking and doing requests. So
you know,
we
gotta-
could be
next thing you know, we
anywhere.
gotta put bleachers out there.
Yeah.
Do
We're
live
gatekeeping
shows.
Thank goodness we're not a lot of people know like where the treatment rooms are. But anyway, yeah, we are back. Peter, why don't
Episode
we?
8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peter is how long have you been coaching here at Adapt? When did we first get the privilege of working with you? Just take us back a little bit.
It's been like a year, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started officially like in October, around that time, October, November of 24.
Yeah.
So it's been, I guess, at the time of this recording, just about, just over a year. And then I'd only been in Miami for like a few months up until that point, before I started working here.
Hailing from plug it. Where you from?
The city of brotherly love in Philadelphia, the great city of Philadelphia.
Nice.
Yep.
Philly.
Go
Never been.
Birds. Something like that. Something like that.
I've never been. I want to go.
Dude, it's
I think I was there once, like it was bus transit. I didn't get not enough to enjoy the city, but yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I've never been
Yeah.
there proper.
And we have quite a few people from Philly. Like
A
Marcus
lot.
is from Philly, too.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, we gotta do like a tour.
Never had a Philly cheesesteak from an official one.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had.
Yeah.
Dude, Philly's one of those cities too. I always tell people, or people have always told me, like they'll go unexpectedly, like not expecting anything. Like, oh, it's just like it's the smaller New York City essentially. But every time I've talked to someone that's gone there and like had low expectations, they're like, oh, it was actually like a pretty decent time.
Yeah.
Minus the Kensington. Don't look it up.
What's
but,
that? That's the city.
Just it's you've been in LA, right?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Like the Compton, right?
It's like the Skid Row of the East Coast.
Oh
Okay.
man.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty rough. Just don't go to North Philly. Just don't go there.
I've maybe seen those neighborhoods in like old Eddie Murphy movies, where it's just like Skid Row of Philadelphia, and I had just no idea. Like it just looked like when you think of Bumtown, it's like and cold and hard. At least L.A. Skid Row, you don't get snow. So you could be
Yeah,
down
that's
and
right.
out on your luck, and at least
I've
you
only
get
seen
the
it in
good
Beverly
weather.
Hill Cops. That's
Right.
Or was that Detroit?
No, well, both. Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
he starts in Detroit and then
No, but no, that was Detroit. That wasn't Philly.
no, correct.
Yeah.
Trading Places was in Philly a little
That's
bit.
what it is. Okay.
$50
Cool.
bucks. So you came from Philly. How did you find Adapt? Where I want to get into a lot of the sports psychology, but I just want to
Yeah, a little background.
the people
Yeah.
that know you here, like what brought you to Adapt? What brought you this part of Miami? Miami's take us through the decision making process.
So essentially, after my undergrad, back up in Philly, I got done my undergrad in psychology, and I had found out about sports psychology my last year of undergrad. And I was a personal trainer at the time. Like I enjoyed studying psychology, but I was like, well, I don't really want to go like the therapy route or the counseling route or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had read a lot about like the sport and exercise psychological methods into like performance, which we'll get to in a little bit. But also like with weight training, personal training, strength and conditioning, whatever it is, and like there seems to be more of like an uptick in interest
Mhm.
in that kind of sector of performance. So I kind of like sat back and I thought, I'm like, oh, that'd be like a really cool path to pursue and sort of like combine the two, like, you know, weight training, you know, fitness, whatever, and like sport, performance psychology. And then I applied to Baylor University, which is 10 minutes away from Adapt.
Right.
They let me into school, and I was like, hey, I've never been to Miami before. So, you know, screw it, let's send it. Let's go down there and see what it's all about. So yeah, I got down here August of 24, and pretty much immediately, like even before I moved down here, I was like Google searching gyms and everything. I was like, all right, like, you know, Miami's like probably like South Florida in general is like kind of the mecca of like, you know, like gyms and like fitness.
Yep.
I would probably say Florida or Texas are like the two top like states for performance.
Oh wow! I
gyms.
never even considered Texas. I was always between my mind of like L.A. and Miami.
Well, LA's good too, yeah.
Yeah,
But I feel like in the past like 10, 15 years, especially, like Texas is really like taking that
that's cool.
other spot too. But anyway, so I moved down here, and I had Adapt on my like little Google sheet list, whatever, like gyms to try out.
That's
And
great.
yeah, so I tried out a few different gyms, and I tried Adapt, and like immediately, like I really liked the space. It's like a, you know, old school kind of like warehouse gym.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of space, lots of turf space, which for me I've really liked because the past couple years I started implementing a lot more like plyometrics into my training, so there's like tons of room for that.
Yep.
Which is sick. And I think honestly the biggest thing, dude, was like the culture and like the people here too. So, you know, for what it's worth, people in Miami can be a little, you know, have a bit of a facade on them,
To say the least.
to say the least. And coming from, you know, up north, you know, where like a lot of the gyms I trained at and worked out in Philly is very like kind of like just like run of the mill, like
It's not flash.
Right.
yeah, it's not very flat. Like some of the gyms I trained at were like dungeons, pretty much. Like you had to like walk down like a basement and like
You don't see
train.
that
It's
here.
very,
No.
it's very old school.
Yeah.
And then here, obviously, it's, you know, it's a lot more flashy. And I was like, all right, you know, that's cool. It's part, you know, it's part of the culture down here. It's part of the environment down here. But the reason I like the Dab was because like not only does it have like all these cool amenities, but like the people, like to me, were just super real too. Like front desk. Like I remember the first day I walked into Adapt, I was greeted by Michael at front desk, and you know, he was like super kind, like showed me around, and yeah, I think that's really what drew me to want to work here, was just because I really appreciate how all the different trainers come from different backgrounds of, you know, fitness or strength training or whatever it is, where it's like, you know, CrossFit or, you know, bodybuilding or like Olympic weightlifting or whatever it is. And I think it's cool because you can kind of pick each other's brains and like just become a better practitioner and
help people.
yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all
So-
about.
I think a lot of people that have been with us for a long time at Adapt, like you coming from outside of the fishbowl, looking in, like what gym am I going to get? Where you're not, you obviously don't live here, so you're not limited by location. You're not limited by, you don't have a family as of yet, so you're not limited to where a school is, and you literally had your choice of whatever gym you wanted to go to. And the decision making is just like I think people take for granted how many gyms there are in
Dude.
South Florida.
It's crazy.
To go and try to, and for someone that's never done fitness before to be like, not necessarily you, but like people that are like trying to figure it out on their own. If it's like, I meet so many people that just move down here from like your situation that don't have okay, this is what I'm looking for in a gym, and they
We've
just
talked about this before.
Yeah, they're at the
It's like,
mercy of
all
the
right,
sea.
What do we look for? And obviously, it just depends on what
I can't imagine. I take it for granted that I don't. If I didn't know what I was like, just you're at the mercy of whatever the pull is. Like what gym is going to capture this person, and it's.
I will say
a lot.
that is like the ultimate compliment to. It makes me feel good. You know, it's like somebody that's worked here for quite some time. So as Jonas, I'm sure he can speak on it. To hear that, and obviously I was one of the first persons that you talked to on.
Yeah, how did that work out? He contacted
It was actually
you.
it was Marine to Marine. He I think you met
Oh,
Will
yeah.
first.
So the story went, long story short, so the building I moved into was, you know, the place down the street, the gardens, and
yeah.
Will was in that same place, Will and Mo.
Right on.
And the day I was moving in, I see Will moving his stuff into the like in the apartment. I saw his Marine Corps plate, like the Florida Marine Corps plate.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So like I went up and struck conversation with him, and then he was like, oh yeah, I'm a chiropractor at like the gym of Dab down the street. I was like, oh okay, and then like the rest is history.
He was being nice with a short description. I'm a chiropractor. He never described himself as a chiropractor.
Yeah. Hi,
that's
Will.
good. Yeah.
Like,
Physio,
how can I help you?
Man, craftsman,
Yeah.
wizard with the hands.
Yeah, let me help you.
I want to get into your profession, your professional, what you went to school for. But let's just take a break to recognize our sponsors. All right. So
Look at you.
before we get into that, I'm salty. I grabbed a citrus today.
Salty.
The Adapt Collective is brought to you today by, and all other days, by NOCO Energy Drink, Recovery Drink, by LMNT, Electrolytes, Salty Electrolytes.
Stay salty.
Stay salty.
So good.
It's so good. And Celsius.
Have you had their lemon citrus?
Yes, I've had that. I think that's amazing, that one. You guys got it on the sample pack, and then it like disappeared, and now I'm like trying to pull the trigger on these.
I
little
bought a whole
lemon.
box because I liked it so much.
These are great when you're fasting. If you're doing low carbohydrates, you're definitely going to need to supplement your sodium, potassium, and magnesium. I was speaking with someone who was just kind of watering it down a little bit too much. I think the best way for
I mean, it just depends.
well, let's just
It depends on your day.
Yes, after the acclimation period of the product, and after the kind of the mood, what do I want it to taste like? When you're like, okay, how do I get the best possible dose? You got to go 1-to-1 with this. It's going to taste super salty. Otherwise, I think people just sip on it for way too long, and they might not even.
It's
like,
not. This isn't a cocktail. That
it's not a sipping drink. Like, you should finish the volume of water if you are sweating. I've just found that where people are messing this up is that they're diluting it to where their tastes kind of tell them to stop, and it's just too much water for them to get the salt in, for them to hold it properly. Anyway, great product. All right, so sports psychology.
Yep.
I really want to get into this because I personally struggle and have struggled.
Have clients that struggle.
And have clients that have struggled. Yeah, so it's not just about me. I want to find out the nitty-gritty of sports psychology. So how do you do it? What is it? I've seen, I mean, like we've all.
Well, okay. Obviously, you were hinting to it that like of recent, and maybe not of recent, right? But I think like anything else, right? People are always looking for what else can I add to my repertoire, to my routine, whether it's nutrition, right? Whether it's supplements, whether it's like some people go into like apparel or like some type of equipment. And unfortunately, this kind of sector somewhat falls as like the last, I personally think as the last thing that people start.
Yeah.
Okay, I've dialed the other things.
Yep.
And only after the fact that like maybe you've come across a major like obstacle.
Yeah.
Is it when you're like, all right, I need something to take me over, and I've dialed everything else. You start reflecting back on it, and it's like, what else is left?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, somebody comes along, or hey, I know this guy. He's a mental coach, or he's a, sometimes a spiritual kind of guru, or whatever the case may be, right?
Yep.
I'm not trying to mix that, but it's like, all right,
what
that's
are people,
kind of like the last thing that people actually.
What are people struggling with? What are athletes struggling with? Or people? When is it happening? How do you approach a taper or an event? Let's start there, because we can go up. This is gonna be a plenty. So what are athletes struggling with in majority when they come to you?
So I think for just kick it off firstly with like sports psychology, performance psychology, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people look at sport and performance psychology as a means of like, oh, like there's something's wrong with me, so therefore I must go seek that help, which that's fine. Like that's honestly that's what most people seek sport and performance psychologists for. But I don't think people really understand the merit in utilizing the tools that a sports or performance psychologist can offer, like just to take your level of performance to that next level. Right. So there doesn't,
like you said, like proactively versus reactively.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like there doesn't like a lot of people have this connotation of like, oh, like you're seeing a sports psychologist, and it has that connotation of psychology behind it. So people automatically think like, oh, there must be something wrong with you, which at least in the performance psychology world, that's definitely not always the case, right? It should be on the basis of like, okay, if anything, it's more of like a proactive approach,
To supplement.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
you know?
Like maybe there you could be completely fine, but like maybe this is a measure of, okay, well, let's take that performance, to the next level to get you to, perform better overall.
And is it always for events? Do athletes not do it until there's an event on the schedule? Do they do it routinely? Where are the progress markers as far as what you administer? Where's your measuring stick?
So it depends like where you work. Like for an organization, for example, like if you work for like a team or like even there's performance psychologists for like people in the entertainment industry, right? Like musicians, actors, the like. So if you work with these people individually, it's usually like a year-round thing, right? Where it's like you're probably going to do more work, just like you would, in like, let's say, strength and condition. Like you probably have more of an emphasis of your work in the off season, and then when the actual season comes around, you probably do more of like a maintenance phase per se. But then if, again, like I was saying, I think it's one of those things where the field is taking more strides and efforts where we're trying to reach out to athletes and have athletes or performers or people just in general realize, hey, like our services aren't just for like when you're struggling, like or like you're down bad. Like it's more so like we should be continuing to work on these things all the time, just like you would like your fitness, your nutrition, your sleep, and your hydration, all that kind of stuff. And I think now we're starting to see a big emphasis in that. We're like, it's not just like I'm only seeking this when I need help, but like it's something I'm gonna have in my repertoire all the time.
Well, and it's not just like an elitist kind of service anymore. Like you said, it's no longer professionals, like professional teams. It's ideally, trickling into like all sorts of demographics, right? I mean, the fact that you are here and we as a facility don't necessarily cater to like professional athletes. We just cater to the general population. And the fact that you're here, right, and you can work with an individual in that capacity just shows how much the field is growing. Because like it wasn't too long, or I'm sure that it was just 10, 15 years that we would have had a mental sports performance coach in our team. Probably not.
No, it was mostly either people who were setting out to be personal trainers or coaches, or gym members who have grown fond of helping other members and wanted to take the coaching to another level, or starting in a kids program. But it was never like that we never had. Now, I do think that with all of the events, this is where Miami gets a big plug, because it's just such a beautiful climate. There's so many events. There's a bunch. I know
A lot of opportunity to help people.
Yeah, a lot of nationally recognized triathlon courses, a lot of nationally recognized race course, marathon, half marathons. You
All
have
the hybrid stuff.
Yeah, you have people doing high rocks. You have there's stuff.
Launched, yeah.
There's stuff where you are going to be on a floor in a competition setting, and the bleachers, people watching you, and so I feel that the need for sports psychology is kind of trickling out of, like, not just pros need it, like, or have access to it. Now you have more people that actually do have access to sports psychology, or at least understand the nuance, or that it needs to be a supplement for them.
Yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head there too, because for years, sport psychology was called exactly that, sports psychology, because it was mainly reserved for athletes and professional, or the Olympics, and like that kind of setting or whatever. But now I think in the past like 5-ish years, it's starting to kind of rebrand into performance psychology, right? Because I mean, we could sit here all day and argue like who's an athlete and who's not, but at the end of the day, like even people that just go to the gym, or like people that, even people that are like business owners, like to an extent, that's like performance, right?
Yeah.
So the field is kind of making a transition to not just sports psychology, because it has that connotation of like only working with like pro athletes, but performance psychology, where it's like looking at that field of psychology in the lens of like, hey, this isn't just reserved for athletes, it's reserved for like everyday people that have like their own self-determined goals and stuff like that, that things that they want to achieve.
I have a question for you. So obviously, people are becoming a lot more aware of the accessibility of such services. So if I'm a consumer, one, what exactly am I looking for in terms of like a session with potentially like, hey, I come to you, hey, Pete, I haven't had a major setback, but like I want to bring I've noticed that like, all right, my nutrition's dialed in, I'm working with Jonas for my training, whatever the case may be, or even you, whatever, it helps that you can double dip in that regard. But right, I come to you and I was like, yo, I want to dial in I want to make sure that that's not an issue when I go to compete, right? Like that I don't, start, anybody that's really ever gotten competitive understands that like there's going to be a moment where like shit starts hitting the fan and you start like, oh, fuck, did I do my training correctly? Blah, blah, blah. And it's probably in that aspect that like, all right, you may potentially lose your bout or whatever the case may be. So if I'm a consumer, what am I looking for in a session? And who am I looking for? Obviously, I know, all right, I can come to Mr. Peter Law, but if I'm not here in Miami or whatever the case may be, like what should I be looking for in a practitioner, right? Do I look for like you said, sports psychology consultant? Do I look for a mental coach? Because unfortunately, like the fitness world, right, you have certified personal trainers, you have strength and conditioning practitioners, you have like, and I think just shedding some light as to like, all right, what am I looking for? And like, what does this session entail is really what I'm asking.
So let's say, you came up to me or anyone came up to me or any other, and just for clarification, I'm still in school for this, so I'm not like a, certified consultant yet. However, soon, hopefully soon. So, but with that being said, let's say, someone were to come up to me and they said, hey, like, this is what, I want to sit down and speak with you about like X, Y, Z reason. So, okay. So then with that, what I would do is we would have like an initial kind of session, kind of similar to like a fitness assessment, right? You kind of look at how someone moves. Within this assessment, there's a multitude of different ways you could go about assessing someone, right? So it could be more of like a Socratic questioning method where it's like I'm going to ask opening questions and I have the person respond back to me in ways that like I pick up key things like, I get anxious during this. Okay, anxiety. In said moments. Oh, in this moment. Okay. And then you kind of use those words to filter through like how to kind of build like a template, almost like a periodization plan for like mental skills and to sort of help them through. So you could do that via like just conversating, like almost like a counseling session, like just sitting down back and forth. And there's also ways, there's tons of like open-ended like questionnaires, like sort of like on like a Likert scale. So like on 1 through 5.
How hard was that?
Yeah, on 1 through 5,
yeah.
stuff like that. So there's a lot of ways you could sort of
assess and screen somebody.
Someone. Yeah, and then with your second question, with who to look for. So unfortunately, like you said, not just in fitness, but I think like performance as like a whole. Like you can like same thing with like nutrition and like other facets of performance.
Fair. It's like nutrition versus a nutritionist, and this is not fair, but a nutritionist versus a registered dietitian.
No fat guys. No, no. Don't. If you look at your doctor, look at who's advising your life.
Though, I guess you could get away with it as sports performance coach.
Yeah.
But as a trainer,
but why is this weight? Why is he struggling with his weight? If he's going to get into my head and get into my, and I'm going to trust him with like my traumas and anxieties. Why? If he can't
take care of his own trauma, physical trauma,
or show me the data that says that is better than what I'm.
What if
thinking?
I'm fat? Yeah. What if I'm fat and I have like transformations of myself, and I'm just kind of like in this wave of like I'm doing it again?
Yep. Then maybe I'll look around and see some medals on the wall, right?
But you need something. You need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? Like we won like a sumo? You're the what's the champion called?
Yeah, I've done it all. I'm just
Like,
sumo is
whoa.
the last thing that I'm gonna attack.
I would make an acceptance for that.
But you need validation. I think where you're getting to is you need validation of like, yo,
Yeah.
who have you worked with recently?
Yeah.
Like, all right, what have you done for them that like, okay, cool. Why should I trust
He
you?
has to be better than me in that regard of willpower,
Yeah,
of like,
for
of,
sure.
right? And even though therapists have therapists, but even then. But okay, so what do you use these things in your sessions, like in micro little doses of them?
Because
how
like-
could you not?
like as a great trainer, and I think we've talked about this, you're adding value to yourself, right, and to your clients by not only being a strength and conditioning coach, but you're adding to them, from that standpoint, right? And I'm sure you can continue to do so, right? You could probably eventually dive into nutrition if you wanted to, right? I think you have plenty of work ahead of you, right? But what does your traditional session look like? As you, right? As the fact that you're a strength and conditioning coach and a mental performance coach. What does that look like?
For myself?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'll do is one thing I try to hone in, and I get it, like, things arise, schedules pop up, whatever, but I try to have a set routine of time to train every day. So that's actually a big thing where people kind of miss the mark or could miss the mark sometimes, and like trying to get consistent in fitness or whatever kind of workout they're doing is they'll maybe like train at different times throughout the days, like every other day, which if that's what your schedule allows for, that's fine. But if you're able to train at the same time every day and like give yourself that time to
Habits,
train,
babe.
exactly.
Mhm.
It's gonna make it so much easier. It's gonna get to the point where it's like brushing your teeth. Like, oh, it's
Unconscious at
yeah.
that point.
Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Time to go work out. Right. So I try to as for the best of my ability to train at the same time on the days that I'm supposed to train. So it's almost like an automatic response when I'm supposed to go train. I won't get into like the nitty gritty of like everything I do, but I guess a couple like mental things I really harp on, and it's something I'm a big believer in, is
Write these down.
so one,
Pull over, get the pen.
stop scrolling on your phone in between your rest sets.
My
Instagram,
God.
TikTok.
Oh.
I got to revise my hot tip again.
Listen.
This is my hot tip. Have you been listening to the show?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Means good.
So, listen, I get it. Like, we're on 2026, just about, right? Like, we're on our phones. It's the way the world
Stop
moves.
doing scrolling.
Yep.
But like to stop, and like there's no way. I see this all the time. Well, not all the time, but I've seen it a few times, and I'm not gonna say who, but I've seen people doing leg extensions, leg curls, leg press,
The seated ones.
Literally doing
any
it,
of those seated.
and they're scrolling. I'm like, there's no way you're deriving proper adaptations.
What is
Dude,
that
no
doing?
way.
There's no motor recruitment.
What is
At all.
that
Not.
doing? What is that doing to the brain? Like the brain is like,
Dude.
what are you doing? What are you?
Hormonally, you're not doing shit, man.
Yeah.
But just raising cortisol levels.
So right, like I want to know, I want to know what. So you're looking at images, your dopamine's going up or down depending on what you're seeing, and at the same time, you're signaling that reward system
That doesn't
with
matter.
terminal knee extension. Okay, so every time, like, oh, you're gonna be walking around, and your knees are just gonna start locking out for no reason. Like, how did that
You're
happen?
just gonna kick people in the
Yeah.
ass or some shit.
Well, how does patella? When I run and I listen to podcasts, I get my knees are hurt. Like, yeah, well, stop doing leg extensions on willy nilly with no intention. Oh my god.
So
Anyway,
you make it a point not to be on
not
your
to
phone.
correct. Well,
Okay.
I blame the creator culture for that. There's so
No,
many
for
people,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Go.
And I will say, like full disclosure, I do
Because you do record yourself.
I do record myself. I will
That
say
means
that.
you're not you're only on your phone then for the purpose of curating
That's
proper
branding.
content.
And
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But like using your phone as a tool for your exercise, right? Like I'm a big believer in like recording yourself from different
Feedback.
like perspectives
Yeah,
for
yeah.
different exercises, because there's like this feels weird when I go into a squat and you go into like
Well,
a frontal view and
because
you're like, oh wow,
coaches
Yeah.
need to be coached,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I would say like if you're going to use your phone, use it for the betterment of like your exercise and like actually having it pertain something to like your training and not just like doom scrolling whatever it is that you're going to doom scroll.
Yeah.
Another thing I would say is I would put some kind of like imagery in there, so like visualization. So for those who don't know, imagery or visualization, whatever you want to call it, is pretty much the act of like really picturing what you're about to do, but then also utilizing all your five. It's not just like picturing it in your head, but it's also like to the best of your imagination, like visualizing with your five senses how it's going to feel, how it's going to like smell, how it's going to taste. The more you're able to replicate, and this is especially true for someone that's like in a competitive strength sport, right? Maybe it's like high rocks, maybe it's like a triathlon, right?
Or just
Yep.
bodybuilding, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yep.
so it's like
Yeah.
it's really understanding like for your goals to like to transpire and to happen is to like really visualize with all your senses and like just getting really good at like understanding what it's gonna feel like, what it's gonna smell like, what it's gonna taste like. Like are you're gonna be hot, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be sweaty, you're gonna be cold, whatever it is, right? Like really taking the time to get better with that and utilizing that in like a training environment, but then also an environment that that best dictates like your progression to your goals.
Well, how do you turn that off when? So I know I would go home and overthink the shit out of things. Like I would put myself there. Like, okay, what's it gonna smell like? What's it gonna feel like? When I get hot, am I gonna be tired here? Am I gonna? And I would just replay that. So where's the off switch?
Yeah, because that could lead to like almost like a performance anxiety because you're probably
Yeah.
being hypercritical of
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it.
For sure.
So-
I think personally I would say the best way to turn it off is another mental skill is like
Yes.
learning the skill of detachment,
Oh.
right? So understanding, in like let's say in like a performance setting, right? Like what maybe it's it's high rock. We'll use high rocks for an
Okay.
example, right? I don't know much about high rocks. I just know it's it's sold out in like 10 minutes.
Very
that's
popular.
all. That's all I know. And I don't even know what the events are, to be honest with you.
We'll
but-
get into those.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of people in the
Okay.
gym competing
Yeah,
and that.
Perfect.
But, so maybe another episode, but we'll get back
Yeah.
to High Rocks.
So I think it's good to use visualization or imagery to understand like, oh, okay, this is like the facility I'm going to train in. This is probably the weather it's going to be. If it's in April in Miami, this is
Yeah.
probably the weather it's going to be. This is what it's going to smell like. This is what I'm going to hear in my environment. What cues can I use to like recalibrate that focus to be able to perform in that environment? That comes down to breathing, that comes down to like emotional regulation. But then detachment is essentially the idea of, hey, I'm not attached to an outcome. I'm attached to what I can control. Right? So what can you control?
Your breathing.
Your breathing. Can you control your effort?
Yes.
Can you control if you get a certain time?
No.
Can you control if you can win an event?
No.
Hell yeah.
So with that, I think using imagery in the context of, hey, like I'm going to visualize all these things so I know what I'm prepared for to give my best effort, because that effort is the only thing I really have control of.
Wait. Was I right with you can't control if you win? You cannot control, or you
cannot
can't?
control if
Right.
you
Okay.
win.
Just checking. I was like,
you,
what?
You can't control if somebody's faster
Yeah.
than you.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, the detachment thing just hit hard.
Yeah.
And that.
Because some of us are so specialized or have, like we're coaches. Like we know what we can do. But then
More
you're
is not
like, all
more.
right.
I fall into easily like, okay, the more knowledge or the more thinking of it, the more I can try to predict, the better it's going to be. And I know.
Well, and it's kind of like
No detachment.
I'm not gonna bring up his name, but it's a buddy of ours that we share like a friendship with, and I believe you worked with him recently, Pete. And it's funny. I mean, since kudos to you, because obviously since he's started training with you, I think it's definitely helped him immensely, right? I remember that prior to him working with you, he went and he's a person that like dialed everything, nutrition, training. I mean, the guy's been training for a very long time. He's an executive for a big company as well. And he's just that type of focused on the details, right? And because of that, right, I know he knows quite a few of these mental performance skill sets, right? I know he does like visualization, but I'm sure what could have transpired, right? He's into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he went to compete at I can't remember where it was, the Pan Ams or whatever the case may be. And I actually got to work with him from a recovery standpoint prior to him going, and he was telling me how he had everything down. He felt really good, blah, 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 blah. And I remember the competition not going very well for him. And I never spoke to him about like what exactly transpired, but I'm pretty sure it could have been because of his inability to detach himself probably in that moment, right? Or prior to that, right? That he just exhausted himself to the point where like once stuff starts kind of spiraling, it's really hard to kind of like get back into it, right? Especially in a martial arts kind of like something like that, right?
I mean, any competition, like I almost want to feel that adrenaline readiness, and I
now
feel
you can't regulate, right?
Well, you burn out, and that adrenaline, it just gets dumped.
And now you don't have it.
And now you don't have it. You're like, why aren't I jazzed about? Why don't I should want to take someone's head off right now? Why do I not really feel like I can go
or
do
dialed
anything?
in? That energy would help you dial it in at that point.
So there's a lot of, and then the doubt starts creeping in,
and so was there at certain points when you worked with this particular individual, did you notice that, or maybe I'm just
So definitely very detail oriented, this individual.
Without giving names away, no names.
Which, hey, listen, and I will never, I'll never not. I think one thing I will say about like detachment too, that like I don't want to like mix up like the terms or like give it like a bad connotation, but detachment doesn't mean like you don't care about anything, right? It doesn't mean like, oh well, like it doesn't matter if I win or lose, so like why do it at all? Like have this like cynical doomer mindset, like that's and like that is one thing like I'll kind of see people how they interpret detachment, where it's like, well, no, like it just simply means like you can control the things that like are outside of your immediate control, right? So for this individual, for example, right, like his nutrition, his sleep, his training, his recovery is all like extremely dialed in, which is great. But then come competition time, right, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I've done all this training, I've done all this preparation to get to this point, which is great. But at the end of the day, I still have to perform. So let's say you don't perform so well, right? You can point the finger to like, oh, like maybe I wasn't like recovered enough, or I wasn't this or that enough. But at the end of the day, with that term of detachment, maybe the competition was just better that day. And it sucks. You don't want to hear that, right? That's
things.
But it is what it is, right? And like and with that too, it's like it's also like learning. Maybe you lost a competition or whatever. Like you take that as feedback. Like, okay, hey, like I learned my weaknesses, right? Like I learned what worked. I learned what maybe didn't work so well, right? And then take that information as feedback and then use it going forward to prepare for like a better like training regime, right? So. Sorry,
and then following up to that, months after that, here we are again, so to speak. I'm working on him once again prior to his competition, and I'm having the same conversation with him. He, from his standpoint, he doesn't feel like his training has been dialed in like that prior bout. He had been traveling quite a bit more. If I know my friend, listen, even him on his kind of not better days, it's still pretty dialed in. And I told him, I was like, listen, it's probably for the better that you're just go in it, have fun, dude.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I go on, I see my phone, a man sitting on first place, and it's like, dude.
Yeah, that there's something to be said about that, and like a lot of times, people will lose the aspect of like I should be having fun doing this, and then at least when I look at the people that are winning the gold medals and getting in first place, it looks like they don't look like they're worrying about much. I mean, obviously they have their things going on, but there is this sense of it's not a nonchalantness, but they are it is fun to them.
Yeah, I think that's one thing, that whole concept of detachment kind of, it's almost freeing in a sense, right? Because it's like, oh, like, okay, so all I have control over is what I have, my immediate control over, which is like my actions. And, there's some debate there with like your own thoughts or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's almost like freeing, where it's like, okay, like I have utmost control of what I have control of and nothing else. Like,
And now you start having fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
exactly.
And what is the healthy balance between that and like, okay, you have too much it's not confidence anymore. Now you're getting into like, maybe you should have known the best people in the world were at this competition, or maybe you're comparing, maybe, like how, where is it where it's like overly confident or on the bad, like go tell me about that.
So
like,
I would say
does it exist? Does it exist at all?
I would say so. Yeah. I think overconfidence is really, or even like, cockiness, or, however you want to phrase it, is I think it's a lack of burden of proof, right? So like, sure, there's nothing wrong with being, having confidence and like believing in like your abilities and everything, but the number one thing that's going to grow your confidence is like that proof of work.
Yeah.
That burden of proof, right? Like it's one thing to say like, oh, hey, like, I'm the best, I don't know, high rockser, if that's even a thing. I don't even know if that's a thing, but like,
that is a thing.
Whatever. Like, I'm the best high rockser, yada yada. But it's like you've never even competed before. It's like, well, hey, like you could be, who knows? But like, there's a kind of a lack of burden of proof there. Like it's probably not realistic. But,
right.
And I mean, honestly, too, like more often than not, like the guys or gals that compete at the highest level of their sport, that know they're the best, more often than not, do you really see them like boasting about it that often? Like you might have your outliers here and there.
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, there are dudes that are sitting in first place, best in the world in some areas of these combat sports.
You're probably just doing it amongst your peers.
Yeah.
Or for content,
like,
content, clickbait,
and the
stuff
room
like that.
between Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic, Michael was like, "Shut up." Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
And Pat Riley would probably a good coach pulls them all together. But like you see these jiu-jitsu guys, like the best in the world, like Gordon Ryan, like you listen to him talk, and it's like, oh my God, this guy, and he calls himself king. He's like, he has that burden of proof.
And I will say with combat sports too, it's much
tricky,
more
man.
of like
It's trickier.
It's a little trickier because it's more of like there's more of like a psychological battle.
They're trying to get into the other guys.
Exactly.
Yes.
We won't know until we actually have a fight sport movie again.
Right.
Like, is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu better than Kung Fu?
That'll never happen. It's all mixed now. It's all mixed.
I know. But still.
Even jiu-jitsu, it's like there's elements of wrestling that they use. There's elements of judo that work or don't work. At the level, and to be fair, North America has surpassed Brazil.
Now it's like UFC versus Bellator versus Knuckle.
The bare
knuckles. Which is better?
Right.
The martial artist in UFC versus Bellator versus.
Right. Yeah.
You just won't know.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like they're in the fight sports, like they're trying to get each other. The forum they have to speak. Like there's no team there where they're going to interview everyone on the team.
Exactly.
They're sitting there, okay, one-on-one. I got to get into this one guy's head, and that's it. So he's basically. It's just now I figured it out. It's like when he's talking, he's getting into everybody's head, and it's a one-on-one. It's like there's one competitor you have to go against.
So
exactly.
You said obviously visualization, working at detachment,
senses, right? Using your senses, how replicating
visualization.
Anything else that like easy stuff, I guess, right? That like people can kind of do. What's another one that
good easy one.
So like a stage fright, quick fix.
Stage fright. That's actually a pretty good one. I would say for stage fright, honestly, detachment. The thing about a lot of things that come up in like whatever performance endeavor is, like a lot of these things can fit into these situations for as you see fit, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like the
you can visualize yourself still doing it
on stage, right?
Yeah.
You can visualize yourself on stage, like
you can detach yourself from the crowd, right?
Yeah, you can detach, like, okay, like I can't control if the crowd's gonna like be booing me or whatever, but like if I do the best I can, then it is what it is. And same with like imagine a situation before you're on stage, right? Like when you're preparing, it's like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna be standing under like probably a bright fluorescent light or whatever on
Yep.
stage, and
You'll be in a swimsuit. You'll have,
Yeah.
be in a bikini. You'll be, it's like I'm gearing towards bodybuilding because that's really when I know a lot of people that have done it. Everyone here has, and that's usually the, oh my God, I got to go on stage, and for the first timers. And once a seasoned vet, once you're like no problem going on stage anymore. I mean, that's you pretty much.
But to your point, Pete, you could probably use. It's just like about having as many. Well, not as many, but like, all right, even if you have one of these coping skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least knowing that, all right, maybe that's the one that you can work with, right? Or, all right, cool, I have that one. Can I add another one and be confident in my ability to use it when the time is right or when shit is hitting the fan? And in this case, in this particular scenario, right, when I'm feeling like, hey, I'm about to have stage fright, right? So I guess it's your ability to just use them as you please, so to speak.
yeah, I mean, it's the tricky thing with like I guess like the performance psychology world is like, mind and behavior is very it can be almost very I can't think of the word, but it's not very like it's a little more like, it's not as like objective as like something in the physical world, right? Like, for example, like, I was able to bench press 225 today. That's an obvious like objective metric you can see and touch and feel in real time,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
But then with a lot of like psychological skills, it's a lot of things because it's so integrated like in our biology or physiology or like psychology, where it's like there's so many moving pieces. And I think that's it's one of the downfalls, unfortunately, about like really psychology, but performance psychology as a whole is like, you're not gonna find these like
Quick
these
fix.
hacks, right?
Yeah.
Like one of my like.
Yeah, we're saying hacks, but they're not really hacks. It's like, I get what you're saying. It's like, all right, all right, you visualized.
I just want cliff notes.
Still,
I don't want hacks.
You still might fail, right?
Right.
Like you still
Yeah.
might. All right, you might have visualized yourself winning, but like that guy might have just still kicked your ass,
Yeah.
right? It's not gonna be 100% the reason why. All right, hey, now your performance is better. And now you have to go through the journey and go through the bout or whatever the case may be, and actually put it to the test, and hopefully it does work for you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I think this word gets thrown around a lot, but I think one thing just to keep in mind when it comes to like your own mental skills or psychological skills really is also like the intent behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could sit back and be like, oh well, like I visualized and like it didn't work, and it's like, okay, well, like if you have an attitude like that, like it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like you have to sit back and like it's the same with like training, right? Like you're not gonna go into the gym. Like how many times have we heard people come in to train and like to no fault of their own, right? That's our job, is to educate people, but they're like, oh well, like in 6 months I want to I don't know, squat 315 pounds, but right now I can only squat like 95. It's like,
What's a squat?
yeah, and it's like. And you're kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like, all right, hey, dude, like I appreciate the drive, but like let's understand that like this takes consistency, and it's very much the long picture, right? It's just like what I think about a lot with a lot of psychological skills and like mental skills in comparison to like fitness is like, I'm sure all of us probably got into fitness for some maybe reason of like, oh, like this looks cool, I want to be able to do this. But I know once you achieved whatever goal it was to either of you that you achieved, like, did you just stop?
No.
Yeah,
Obviously.
right. That should be like the same kind of lane as like mental skills, where it's like you want to improve upon your ability to like have better discernment about things, your ability to like detach from things, to be able to really like when you're super aroused, like be able to like come down and like not be super like neurotic about things. Like once you reach a certain threshold of
What's
a mental
next?
skill, you shouldn't just like, okay, like just discard everything, right?
Yeah.
It should be like a continuous evolution of your ability to have
new
like
level unlocked.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
And how about burnout? When people come in, they're like, oh, I don't even feel like being here, but and it's just the compounding of their week, and maybe they weren't pushing very hard in the last session. Just
Not
burnout in
burnout,
general.
or just I guess
Monotony. They feel that they're not as quote unquote motivated to be here on the day that they were, Monday when they had when they thought they were going to come squat 315, and now on the eighth month of the sessions, I am squatting 215. Still progress, like, hey, great, but well, let's get it higher than the bench press. We'll say 255 because we were benching 225. Let's give the newbie the 255 squat. But like, yeah, people burn out, and you're like, hey, look, this, even though you don't feel like being here, let's get you moving. 15 minutes, you'll feel better. Where's the happy medium with that?
So just for burnout in general, like you're saying, training. Yeah. So I think with burnout, this is kind of an unpopular opinion as well, but I think one thing with burnout that gets kind of misconstrued a lot is people might have, because we hear this term a lot, people might have just like 1 or 2 off days, whether it's in the gym or whether it's, even at work or whatever it is. And then automatically, like, because this term burnout has become so popularized in the past like decade, like people will just automatically assume like, oh, it's burnout. Maybe, but then you have to understand like, okay, well, has this feeling just came about like in the past couple days, or has it been like this for the past like month or a couple weeks?
Is this acute, or is this something that like
exactly
has been chronically plaguing you? Like you're having second thoughts about this over and over and over and over.
Right.
Because I think we all have our days like we don't want to, oh God, I really want to train right now, but like. You get to a point where it's like, hey, like, I might not feel like it right now, but like, when I start moving, I might start feeling a little better. Like, I'll tell you right now, like, I've had so many days where like, when I go into train, I'm just like, God, like I feel like crap right now. Like I just do not want to train. I don't want to, I'd rather just rot on my couch and just stare at my ceiling or whatever. But then some of my best like
sessions.
Some of my best sessions and like some of my like PRs I've had were days where like I actually felt like shit.
Be optimistic is what you're saying. Be optimistic, be positive, practice positivity.
And then also like trust in like for those kind of sessions, like trust in like the
path, the journey.
The path. Yeah. Trust in your routines, right? Like trust in like your pre-performance routines, right? Like
trust in the decision that you probably made
when you did it, right?
I think we've spoken about this.
We did.
Horizon.
Be the person that put it in the schedule. Be the person that on Monday
that you got to reflect on. Like, yo, I'm 100 miles in.
Yep.
What the fuck was I thinking about when I started this journey? Oh, that's right. I was thinking about the fact that I wanted to do.
Yep. It's easy to forget.
First place,
dude.
Or,
it's easy to forget.
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. All right. Well, today I feel like shit, but I'm gonna do one myself.
Very easy to forget.
Yeah, like at like you said with that example, like at that point, you owe it to yourself.
Yep.
Right, and then that gets into a lot of like identity.
And you won't do that if you're fucking doom scrolling. Sorry,
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's probably what happens though.
Absolutely,
it gets like, in shit because you start looking and I'm like, damn, look at this guy. They look great.
You have
they're exactly where I want to be.
And you have all that. You have all that imagery on the phone that's getting pumped into you from your algorithm. And then on top of that, your dopamine's going either up or down.
Because it can be like, oh shit, all right, look at him. Like it was probably like, all right, you imagine being Matt Frazier or Rich Froning. You pick up your phone, you're having that feeling like, fuck, I don't feel like training.
No.
And then you see Rich Froning throw up that number on the open, and like, fuck that. I'm gonna kick his ass.
It
could help you, right?
Yeah.
But like oftentimes we just don't regulate the fact that like, all right, I came onto Instagram for a little quick bit of motivation, but instead now I'm here 20 minutes after just doom scrolling.
Were you watching the CrossFit Games in the first year they were in Carson when Rich Froning couldn't do a rope climb?
Oh man!
So this guy
talk about like.
Do you remember that? And he lost it. He lost. Do you know this story?
No, I have no idea.
This might be
Rich Froning is like the Michael Jordan of
CrossFit. He's a CrossFitter.
Yeah. Do you think Matt Frazier surpassed him?
Maybe record-wise. I mean, maybe like on the books-wise. But no, Froning was Mike. Yeah. Because he went to teams and then he brought the team with him.
Prior to this, he hadn't won. He
crushed regional. Yeah, he was I think he came from a baseball background. Like he didn't go into the league or anything. But
he had
all of a sudden,
he had all the pressure. This all is going to be the year where he was going to finally win it.
And this is when you actually had to go and compete against a parking lot of people. You didn't have to. You didn't do it online. There were actually judges watching every little piece of what you were doing. Like it was a day. You actually went
Yeah.
for a weekend and competed for that weekend, and then it was it. You couldn't. It wasn't like the Open now where you can do your workout any part of the week. So you had to go there. And here's this kid, and he crushed every event at regionals, and he was first place, this and that. Goes to Carson. He's supposed to be the black sheep that's going to take Khalifa out and everything, and he does in every event. He crushes every event.
And
Last
he's his
event, last event, there's a rope climb in some, and it's like easy win.
Legless rope climb.
No, it wasn't legless. It was
Sure?
dude. That's how ridiculous it is.
Oh, that's
is
right.
he
Yeah,
couldn't
anchor his
J-hook.
feet. Yeah.
So he's
right.
doing it. He did it legless.
He was doing it legless.
and then
that's
all of a sudden he's burning out. He can't get up, and literally, and
his
back-
biceps got shot. You know,
shot. Back
Yeah.
then, there were like maybe 15,
that feeling
15
when you're
people
like-
in the crowd.
you've done so much bicep that all of a sudden you're like,
So there's like a famous shot where like you have, there wasn't any, it was
he
like
literally just falls.
50 people in the crowd, and they're trying to show him like a couple coaches from Miami CrossFit were like, put your foot on top of the other, and he's just like, and he lost the whole thing. But then he came back and won back to back, and the rope climb, he crushed it. Everyone was like, oh, he's gonna fail on the rope climb again, bro. No, he crushed it. So that was that is
7 times in a row. Or something.
yeah, dude. He's like the Arnold of CrossFit. And then when he went to team, I thought that was cool. He went to teams, and his team went.
But he definitely visualized that fucking rope multiple times.
Yeah, I
after
can't
that,
even.
though.
And he overcame. I can't imagine.
Yeah, he's like, yo, I'm gonna fucking nail that event.
Yeah, but that's I am gonna need to pick your brain a lot more after the session. I'm gonna let you
All
in,
right.
in my mind. Yeah, we got to get into announcements here. We can go on,
Hold wait.
man.
Hey, hold on. Slow your roll.
So what do you want?
We gotta go into.
Oh yeah.
FYI, hold on.
What's up?
I hope you guys heard our new intro. It was brought to you by our lovely
and talented.
Miss Emily Cleary.
Yes.
In
and
so
out
we
of the
really
studio.
appreciate it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So she finally hooked us up.
That's so sick.
It's so sick.
Ah.
We needed that.
Okay, I don't want to. It's so good, man.
All right, let's get into our
Hot tips.
The hot
That's
tips.
Is that new too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my
we're
God.
fully integrated here,
Yeah,
man. We
for
wouldn't have
sure.
you on. We wouldn't have it as
Listen,
stupid.
we wanted to come back and start 2026 with a good,
Do it
you know,
right,
on
man.
the right page.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
you're in the-
Good
it's gotta
guess.
sound-
You're our first guest of 2026, man.
That is
Let's
right.
go.
That's right.
Let's go.
So, all right, Jonas, do you have one, or should I kick?
I have one, but yeah, kick it off. You can rock it.
All right. So, in the spirit of, you kind of talked about it, right? It is 2026, and people are kicking off the new year by testing themselves and going into high rocks. And it's, man, I really wanted to bring this home because oftentimes we get into the monotony, right? And obviously we were talking about the sports performance aspect and the psychology behind it. And oftentimes the reason why we get into that funk is because we have nothing like a target, right? And it doesn't have to be this extrinsic event, right? In this case, a lot of people are signing up for high rocks, right? But like any good practitioner, more than likely, and you hinted to it, right? The fact that like if you're about to start working with somebody, you're gonna assess them, you're gonna screen them for something. So I wanted to draw importance of like my hot tip is test yourself, right? Test either your fitness, test your mental capacity, test your whatever it is, but you need a point A, right? It just so helps that, we are a High Rocks affiliate now. And
Yeah.
that's right. We are a High Rocks affiliate.
Nice.
So,
Will they give us a soundbite? It's a high rock.
I don't know. I don't know,
I'm
maybe. But obviously we have High Rocks, perfect way to test yourself coming up. I think it's April, whatever, first weekend of April. But oftentimes it's like, all right, I don't want to do an event, right? Okay, cool. Not a big deal, right? On a monthly basis, we have our own monthly training challenges here.
Yep. And want to do well in the event, not just want to go into the event and do your own
well,
thing.
because okay, yes, it's great to gamify it and compare yourself to other people, but at the end of the day, it's really about setting a marker for yourself, so that way you're not shooting in the dark. That's what it's really about, right? So it could be you coming into Adapt and just doing our monthly event, right? The January monthly event, right, or the one for January is called Unbroken, and that's going to be overhead plate lunges for max distance in 2 minutes. So
Mm.
I know it's a spicy one, right? You're gonna be testing lower body
Wait, when
endurance.
you stop,
50. So it's gonna be you'll get reps every so often meters, right? Obviously, if you want the specifics, reach us out and we'll give you those specifics. But I'm really saying this that like, hey, there's different ways of there's different ways of testing yourself. Test yourself, fool.
Yes, exactly. And to springboard off of that, my hot tip is a little bit more nuanced, but it's more about freeing your hands up. Obviously, not during pull-ups, but what I mean by that is, maybe sometimes, yeah. Oh my God, don't do the suicide grip. That's a whole nother episode. Free up the hands. I see a lot of tension, especially when I'm running. When I'm having clients do things like a lot of isometrics, and a lot of tension and distortions are happening in the hands. I see a lot of the hands looking for the phone. I see a lot of pushing on things
unconsciously, just like
unconscious tensions in the hands, and then and it shows itself when they're running
or the thumb swiping unconsciously.
Yeah, man, it's when
the zoom in and the zoom out.
Yeah.
So when you're doing mostly dumbbell press or push-ups or anything like that, like just take a second before you start doing the reps. Obviously, it's safely, and it's like free up the hands a little bit when you're running. I make a game out of it. I'll try to touch a fingertip to the thumb. I'll go through it a couple times, and I'll be like, okay, let me run with my ring finger on my thumb, and now let me run with the index finger on my thumb for another 800. So just little games to free up the hands, because I've just been noticing a lot of tension in the hands during some movements, and it's the hands and the wrists are like the ankle to the shoulder, or like the ankle to the hip. So free up the hands, and maybe we can get some love.
So basically, you agree with what Pete said. Stop doom scrolling.
Yeah, because absolutely right. Because whatever your problem solving reward systems are is going to adapt. Your body's going to adapt to those positions. So if I'm getting all my pleasure principles from the phone, and this position is helping me do more of that, then my body's going to adapt to problem solve with that iPhone pinky thing. Over time,
iPhone pinky. All right, you heard it here.
Oh man.
Do you have? I mean, I know you gave us a couple. They weren't hacks. I know you kind of rephrased that, right? Anything that might have come to
a hot tip.
Hot tips.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Tips.
Let's go.
All right.
What do you think?
I'll say maybe not a hot tip. How about this? This could be a tip to be just a better gym member.
Ooh.
If you're strong enough to load up 5 plates in the hack squat, I think you're strong enough to unload the hack squat and put the plates back where they belong.
You heard it.
Yep.
Listen, it's great to hear that it's not. You're gonna find that pet peeve across all trainers alike, baby.
Yep. No, that's good. Yeah.
Listen, it's just.
Yeah, you gotta say no more.
Sometimes I get it. I you're in a rush, whatever.
Yeah, it happens, and we're here for you.
But yeah, we got you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we got you. But
take a couple of those plates off.
Yeah, like
just
imagine
blatantly
if you're a little old Mary, right,
Yeah.
and she wants to use a hack squat.
So she's got to move.
She's never gonna use it now because she uses 5 of them, and she thinks that the plaw is still there.
Yeah, and then you get into people that
Eric's gave you that nickname.
Eric's. I thought it was Marcus.
Was it Marcus?
What's the nickname?
Plaw.
Plaw.
Because now we have 2 Peters. Now we have 2 Petes. So it's like, all right.
I think I just say law sometimes. Was that a marker? Was that the video marker?
That was it. That was a marker. Hold on.
You gotta do
pause
this.
Pause that.
No, there's no pause, man.
There's no pause.
No, man, there is no pause.
We're doing it live.
You can't see us now.
There's no words on it.
What does that mean to play us out? The Sting to play us out. I don't know what that means.
Anyway, that's all right. It is what it is.
We lost the video?
Yeah, I think we lost the video, but not a big deal.
All good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a good time to get into the facility now.
Yeah.
What do we got going on?
Man, it's a new year. Resolutions are happening. So we got you. 28-day challenge. New Year's challenge. Perfect opportunity. you could already be an existing member, right? That need that extra motivation, you know.
When does that
extra
start?
Kick in the ass, in January.
What do we have a
right
date?
now? Right now, just go by front desk.
Oh, there you
go
go.
by front desk right now. And it comes with classes, right? A lot of like our lower tier members probably have that once a week, so it definitely adds more classes, more accountability in that regard. It comes with nutrition, and it comes with a heart rate monitor because we are doing a curl.
We're implementing tech.
Yep, we're implementing tech. It's a great way of seeing your how many calories you're burning, seeing what heart rate zone, seeing how much work effort you're putting. So
Just getting a number on it. Just get something on it.
Testing yourself, literally.
Because you know how we touched on it, like how you feel might not be like, hey, look, it's right there. Like you feel great.
You feel great, or hey, you're sandbagging me. Dali.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
ahead.
Oh wow,
Pick
you
up the
really
weight.
are feeling horrible.
Okay, exactly. Yeah. And then outside of that, we have a lot of you guys don't like the class, which I get it. Like you don't want all the socialness, right? All the being kind of like part of like the big group. All right, so work with Pete.
He's here.
Work with Jonas. Work with me, right? We have the 5-pack, $199, 30-minute special. Either it could be like an intro to working and revamping your routine, or it could be the start of us working together, right? But, you don't have to overcommit. You just commit to 5 quick sessions. I like to call them the executive sessions because there's 30 minutes. It's like, yo, we're not. I'm not about to listen to your whole spiel about abuela and abuelo and no, like we're about to work. That's why I call them executive. I mean, listen, if you want to come in and like let this be a counseling session, then by all means. But use it wisely. Use us, right? Our expertise to get you on the right foot, right?
Yeah, I think with the gym, the class members could really use the personal training is just to slow the training down a little bit so they can get a little heavier on their session.
That's right.
And that way they'll be able to do a little bit better fractional engineering on what they should be doing in their HIIT workout. And you'll have something that at least relates to something. Like you could have your heart rate monitor, you could have all that data. You definitely want to start thinking about how your training load and your max load is
It's funny
relating
because
to each other.
oftentimes people come to us and they'll go through a session with me and we're like, we did a lot less, like volume wise,
right?
Like reperage.
Yes.
But you're like, damn, that was hard. I was like, yeah, no shit. We were intentful about our intensity.
Yeah. You mean the volume of the
Like
volume
the
of exercises?
Exercises.
Because there could be a lot of volume
sets,
on. Oh,
right?
correct.
It could have
Right.
been, like just the overall volume of the session. We did less.
Sure.
But we
made sure that we got those 3
it.
top sets. Yeah, you make sure
Yeah.
we didn't just do.
We loaded the 5 plates and
Correct.
then we took the 5 plates off too, right?
Thank you.
Because I think where I'm failing at lighter weights, it dictates how I want to get stronger. Okay, so I want to be able to do the 45s 15 times instead of 10. I don't think that's the right mindset to say, oh, I want to get stronger. I think let me do 5 reps of something in the half-hour session I booked. Let me see what I could actually bench for a 5-rep max, just using bench arbitrarily.
Yeah.
But then now I'll have a clearer picture of what dumbbells I should be using to look for those failure sets.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, well, that's where your stalled progress might kick off, is looking at it from that. Because a lot of people I see in here, like they can't do any more cardio. They can't do any more classes. But I rarely see them doing the slow stuff.
It's not
stuff.
fun to do the slow stuff.
No,
by
it's
yourself,
not.
bro.
Well, that's why we need to be
and,
there.
and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Versus 1,
Yep.
2,
Yep.
3.
Touch and hold.
God, why you
yeah,
go so slow?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, that is one of the probably one cue I've used the most as a personal trainer is I tell people like slow down.
Yep.
Slow down. Like
It's like they don't want to hear slow down, bro.
yeah, because
No.
It's so much easier to just, let me go fast. Let me
just
just put
yank
my
this.
head down and just whip. Like,
I agree. I blame that on commerce. I blame that on people's consumption habits. They're like, I want a rep, give me a rep. I want the next rep here. Here, give me the next. I want as many
Me.
one for
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
As soon
Yeah, yeah.
that there is one, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another. Like, no. You're only getting 5.
should have a.
You're only getting 5. I want you to enjoy and burn in that 5.
That's another good topic. Like,
That's
tempo, like, a lot of like eccentric work, isometric work.
Just like, what is that gym rep? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
The speed, like the 1-to-1, like when it's this garbage rep tempo. Like that's, that needs a name. So we need, by our next episode, I want to come up with the name of the gym rep. Like, don't just do like a flunky or whatever it's called. Like it's just like the rep that has no tempo, no reps look like the other one. They're all random. Some are
It's
faster.
like that autonomous check.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at you doing. I'm like, is that right? Like, no, dude.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
That's
I hate that.
right. It's just like I have a bunch of different colored marbles in there. I'm like, yeah, tell me, like, well, pick them out. Which one is the red one? Like,
That is the grenade. You're holding the grenade.
Yeah, look in there. Pull out the red one, bro.
It's the worst look I get is like when someone, like I'm trying to teach someone something and they're
And-
just like looking right at you like as you're doing it.
Don't break eye
I'm
contact.
just like,
I was like, stop
Please.
making eye
Yeah.
contact with me and
Please
look at
stop.
yourself in the mirror. You tell me.
It happens, man. And I
Oh,
think
God.
that actually might be like the
It's
person.
funny, Jonas. We regurgitate a lot of the same things over and over.
Yeah.
And like
We see it over and over.
We see it over and over, man. Guys, it's
It's a symptom of the group classes. It's a
no,
symptom
but it's a
of,
symptom. I see it in personal training too, though.
Yes, true. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
but
I s-
they get comfortable leaving it all to you, and that's okay. I like that. But like I said, if I'm holding a bag of a red ball, a green ball, a blue, and a yellow, and you're like, Jonas, pull out the green one, and I'm looking at you as I'm pulling them out. Be like, Jonas, stop looking at me. You're right.
You got it.
Right.
No, you
Look
didn't get it.
inside the bag, bro. Look in the bag and pull it out on the first one. So it's the same thing where it's like, you know, feedback. Use your senses. And to what you said in the sports psychology, if you can't use your senses to feel or make my instruction and interpret what I'm saying, then we have a lot of more
That's
work.
why you have to work with
A sports psychologist.
That's right. So that way you can visualize those senses better.
Man,
Yeah.
thank you, Peter Law,
Yeah, man.
for coming on the show.
Yeah.
It's been
We'll definitely have you back again.
It's been a plethora of information. And Pete, good to have you
Back,
as
baby.
always. We're
26
back.
is gonna be great,
That was
baby.
fun, guys.
That's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
great. Yeah. Woo! That's right.
See you next time, guys. Like us and drop a share.
Yeah,
Tell a
yeah,
friend about us
share.
on Spotify,
Comments, all of it, man.
Apple Music.
It helps. It does help.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.